Hello students, welcome to the mental ability class. Today in this class we are starting with a new chapter named non-verbal analogy and classification. This chapter is a combination of both the analogy as well as the classification. If you have watched both the videos of this classification as well as analogy before, this chapter will be easier for you. In this chapter, we are going to deal with some non-verbal problems which will be very helpful for you during your exam time. I hope this chapter is very easy for each and every student as we are doing the repetition of what we did earlier as well, right? So I am directly starting with this chapter. Here, the first part is analogy. So you now very well aware of what exactly analogy is. It is like similarity, right? It is like having same relation, right? This is what analogy is. In this, we are dealing with the same pattern as well, right? So anything, any relation is there, we are able to find between the question figure. This same relation have to be followed by the alternate figures or the alternate options, right? Okay, the procedure for this is going to be the same. I'll take an example for you here itself, right? If I take an example like, right, first box is there in which we have three figures, right? Let's say this figure is converted into this figure. Which one? 1, 2 and 3. So you are able to find what is the exact relation. The last figure is become larger and subsequently they are inside the large figure itself. So if I ask you to draw this figure, right, then how will you draw that? So the outcome of this part will become a bigger square, then a circle inside which a star will be there. This is how the relation that we derived from the figure number 1 is implemented in figure number 2. This is how these questions will be answered in each and every part, right? So now we are straight away moving to the question part where we are going to have some instructions. Then we will follow few questions of analogy and also few question of classifications, right? Here is some instructions for you. First, read the instructions carefully, right? What the instruction says, that in this type of problem figures are presented in two units. Okay, the first unit contains two figure, one in each square. The second unit contains one figure in the first square and a question mark, right? In the second you have to find out out of among the which figure, either A, B, C or D and E, as to which one should replace the question mark after finding the relation between the two figure in the first unit of the problem figure. Some examples will be discussed, right? Now I'll going to discuss 1 to 4 examples. These examples will be related to the analogy problems, right? So here I'll be explaining each and every problem with the help of proper methodology, right? So here is the first question in front of you. Now in these kind of questions, what you need to figure out, what will appear here in this question mark. So in the first problem itself, I'll be explaining you the procedure, right? Whenever you appear in an exam, you are supposed to redraw a box here, and with the help of the relation between these two, that is P1 and P2, figure out what is the relation going to be P3 to P1. So you have to find the relation between P1 and P2 and so on, P3 with P4. First we'll find the relation here, we'll implement in the second part and we will get close to the answer, right? So what is the relation between P1 and P2? If you see that, if we simply cut down P1 from the line that I have drawn, what we will get? We will get a figure like this, right? We will get a figure like this, in which this triangle part is shaded, right? Which is our P2. It means we just need to divide it from the horizontal line. If we draw a horizontal line here itself, right? So what kind of problem or what kind of answer we are going to get? We are going to get an answer like this. I hope this thing is clear. Is this true or not? We need to check. There is one portion shaded as well. So for that we will shade this part, right? As soon as we will shade this part, I think we are able to make the answer figure. This is our answer figure. Now what is the next step? The next step is to check whether the same figure is available on the answer part or not. Okay, these are the answer parts that we have, right? Is this figure matches our answer figure? No. For your ease, remember, this is option A, this is option B, this is option C, this is option D, and this is option E. Now whichever figure you think will match with the answer figure that we made, mark it as your answer. I hope you are clear. So from here we are clear that option number C, that matches our answer. What is it? It is like this, right? This is our answer, right? I hope the question number 1 from analogy part is clear. There is no problem in it, right? Now I'm straight away move to the answer part, that is option C. P2 contains the lower half of P1, hence the answer figure number C will replace the question mark. So the question is, which of the following figure from here A, B, C, D, E will replace the question mark? Will replace the question mark, right? So now you know that C will replace the question mark, right? Now I'm moving to the next question where I'll be explaining few more things. Now here you see that this is P1, this is P2. We have to find the relation between P1 and P2 and follow the same relation between P3 and P4. Okay, let's just drive the relation between them. We know this. Initially we have a circle, that is 1, a square, a tilted square, that is 2. They changes their position in the second part, also becoming half of each other. So what they are doing right now? The lower half of the circle becomes the upper half. I hope this part is clear, right? So if we look at this, the lower half of this will become the upper half of this. Now we need this half. Here you can see that the upper half will come down with one more line. So here the upper half is this, will come with a line. So we need to check whether the figure that we have made is aligned with the figure, any figure in the answer part or not. Here, if we look, this is matching or not, right? No, this is not matching, right? This is our option number A, option number B, option number C, D, and E. Now we need to check which of the following option is matching with our answer figure. Is this? No. Is this? No. What we required semicircle in the downward direction. It means this option is eliminated. And that too we need it in the first. Here it is in the second, eliminated. Here also it is in the second, eliminated. Now option E will be the answer. I hope you are very well aware what we did in this question. Right? We made this diagram. First, already we made this diagram while solving the question mark. So option number, which one? E. What will do? Will replace what? Question mark. I hope you got this. You can check here as well. Here in the solution part, the lower LHS stand for left hand side figure of the portion in P1 becomes the upper portion in P2. Shifted to the other side, similarly, the right hand side figure of upper portion in P1 becomes the lower portion P2 shifted to the other side with one vertical line therein, where the one vertical line therein itself, right? The other two halves are deleted. I hope you get this. Now the figure that we obtain is option number E is this, right? This is the answer figure. I hope this question is clear as well. Now we will directly move to the next question that is in front of you here itself. So what is the procedure that we have to follow? First, we need to derive the relation between P1 and P2 and implement the same relation between P3 as well as P4, right? So as soon as we move forward to find the relation between P1 and P2, we saw two identities here. That is number 1. This is number 2. So if we look at the position of the shaded part, it is like this, right? In the first figure. And it become like this in the second figure. So how much angle is this? This angle is 135 degrees. Either clockwise or anti-clockwise. It is clockwise. So, clockwise. This is the first observation that we got. Second is, the unshaded part is initially like this, then it become like this. Again a 135 degree turn, but this time in anti-clockwise direction, right? Here as well, clockwise direction. So now you know that if the portion is shaded, we have to move it by 135 degrees clockwise, and if it is not shaded, we have to move it anti-clockwise direction by 135 degrees. So here the shaded part is initially in this situation. So if we move it by 135 degree clockwise, it will appear here. So this become the shaded part. We'll shade it as well. Now we need to look at the which one? The unshaded part. Initially the unshaded part is here. For 135 degree, it have to be like here. Now this is a figure that we are able to figure out. Let's just check this figure is there or not. Okay, so this figure is option number A as per my observation, right? So here they are getting mismatched. I'll rewrite for you. This is option A, option B, option C, D and option E. Now I think you are able to see all the figures, and the figure that matches our calculation or our answer figure is option number A. I hope you didn't find any problem in this, right? How we did? We rotate the shaded part with 135 degrees clockwise, this 135 degrees anti-clockwise. I hope there is no problem in this, right? So with this, I am moving to the answer part, that is the written part. You can see here as well another degree rotations. P1 is rotated 180 degree anti-clockwise or clockwise to obtain P2. This is the direct method, right? What they did, they moved the entire figure by 180 degree anti-clockwise or clockwise to obtain P2. Then the shaded and the unshaded leaves are interchanged, hence A should be replaced the question mark. This is the another method. One is used by us, that is the 135 degree transformation. Here is the complete 180 degree transformation. Why I told you two method here? So that you will be comfortable while dealing with the other questions of similar kind as well. You at least have two methods to find answer of the same question. This will give you confidence as well as help you out in the answers. I hope this part is clear. I hope the answer is clear, right? I hope you guys are comfortable, the students are comfortable with the analogy part, right? Now we'll move to the second part of the same chapter, that is your classification, right? In classification, we already read about multiple problems in chapter classification, but now here we have a non-verbal classification. So in this chapter also, we are going to deal, in this part of this chapter, we are going to deal with some questions. For that, we have some set of instructions first. So the instruction says that in these type of questions, 5 figure numbered A, B, C, D and E given. How many figures will be given? Total of 5 figures are given. Okay. These are treated both problem figure as well as the answer figure. I hope you are clear with this. These 5 figures are your problem statements as well as the answer. 4 out of 5 figure are related to each other by some ways of having some common characteristics. It means total of 5 figures will be given, out of which 4 are common and 1 is your odd one out, do not have some common characteristics. So from the group, out of these 5, you have to identify that one figure that does not belong to the group, or you have to find which one. The first statement can be not belong to the group, second can be odd one out, right? I hope this part is clear, right? So you have to check this part in this particular chapter, right? Now if I look to this question, there are 5 figures A, B, C, D and E, right? So in this, out of 5, you have to select one figure which is not obeying the figures that others are following. The characteristics followed by all 4 figures, which of the following figure is there which is not following the same. So for that, what you can do, first you can check how many figures are there, right? First you can check how many figures are there, right? One arrow, the second arrow, right? Then we have this T, inclined T and a pin. Total of 4 are there. We know that both the arrows are in the opposite directions, here as well, here as well, here as well, here as well. So in option C, we can figure out both the arrows are in the same direction. So here you can see as well. In the solution part, both the arrows headed in the same direction in figure number C. In all other figures, they are in the opposite direction. Hence, the common characteristics that we are talking about is the direction of arrows, right? So the arrow is pointing in the different direction in all 4 figures, that is A, B, D and E, right? But they are in the same direction in figure number C. Hence, this is our odd one out or different from others. Hence, it is our answer figure. I hope this part is clear. I hope this question is clear, right? Now, we'll move to the next part of, or the next question of this chapter, that is classification, right? Now, what question number 5 says? Here, I think you are not able to identify the shaded region that I'll mark. So the triangle that I am marking is the shaded triangle, right? In this particular question, maybe your student are not able to see it properly because it is very light in shade, right? I'll darken it for you so that it become easy, and hence I am darkening it. It must have a significance as well, right? So now you have to figure out whether figure number A, figure number B, C, D and E, which is not following the same characteristics like others are doing, right? So what is going to be the characteristic that they are following? So for that, we know that the square with a cross is similar to everyone, but the arrow is pointing in different directions. And a triangle out of all is shaded. Here you can see the triangle is shaded in every part and an arrow. But in between both of them, there is 2 triangles. 1, 2. Here as well 1, 2. Here as well 1 and 2. Here also there is 1 and 2. But when it comes to figure number E, only one triangle is there in between, right? So we can easily figure out every figure is having two triangles in between the shaded region and the arrow except E. Hence E is your answer, right? I hope this part is clear as well. What we did, we have checked the common characteristic part. Like every figure, a triangle and an arrow is having two vacant triangle in between them except figure number E. Hence it is your answer, right? Similarly, we can write it like between the shaded portion number A, B, C and D, everyone have at least two triangles in between them. Hence E is your answer as it is having only one triangle between arrow and the shaded part. I hope this part is also clear, right? Now I'll move to the next question. Now here again 5 figures are given. Figure number A, figure number B, figure number C, D and E respectively, right? Here you need to find out the relation through which they are in common with each other. But you can see that one is a arrow pointing towards right direction, second is a L, third is a pin. These three things are present in every figure. But there is one thing common in A as well as in D, that the L and the pin interchange their positions, right? You are able to figure out this thing as well. Again in B and E, they are able to interchange their positions, right? Which one? A to D, just a second, right? A to D, they interchange their position, and B to E, they also interchange their positions, right? Okay, so C is left out here, not interchanging his position or its position with any one of them. You can see here the L and the pin is changing their position with pin and L, right? Similarly with B and E. But what about C? C is not changing its position with any one of them. So hence we can count it as the odd one out as well, right? Let's say C is the odd one out, right? Here you get the answer. Interchanging position here as well. Similarly, B and D is doing this, A and E is doing this, right? From the group. You can check it out. A and D and B and E, right? A and D and B and it's not D, it will be E, right? Just make the correction here itself. I hope this part is clear. I hope this question is clear, right? I think till now I have explained you around how many questions? 6 questions, right? Out of all 6 questions, they are different from each other, having different concept, having a different relation with each other, and you have to point out the odd one out, right? In the classification part. Now this is the next part, right? Which is a combination of both your analogy as well as the classification. This is the kind of question that we have discussed in the very initial part. We have 3 figures, 1, 2, 3. So the third figure will become the outermost, the center will remain the center, the first become the square, the smallest part. So here the circle will come outside, inside which a square and a triangle inside. Just check this figure is present in which of the following part. This is option number C, right? Any other place where you are able to see this part? No. Here also we have seen the same thing, but the square is in the center. Instead of square, the triangle should be there. So it means option number C is your answer. I hope you got this as well, right? There is no problem in it, right? Now we have another question, that is question number 8. Why this question become more trickier? Because you're not going to get the exact answer that is depicted in the relation. So here what you're supposed to do, find the relation between 1 and 2 and follow the same relation between 3 and 4 as well, right? I hope this part is clear. So when we look at J and P, the J initially is like this. If we tilt it like this by 180 degree, it become like this. Like if we use P and we tilt it like this by 180 degree, right, it become like this, right? It become like this. Similarly, if we tilt E by 180 degree, it become like this and T become like this. So these things are present in option number B itself, right? Both the things in the reverse order. This is here, right? So Similarly, following the same thing, answer is option number B. I hope this part is clear. I hope this question is clear, right? Everyone. Now, your question number 9, what it says? It says that A related to B, similarly, third related to 4. It means worst related to second, in the similar manner, the third related to the fourth part, right? So, how the first related to second? That the inner figure, that is triangle, become the outer figure. This outer figure will become this smaller figure inside and with the shaded part. So similarly, this triangle will come out, it will form like this. The square will come inside with the shaded part. Just check which is option matching with this. That is your option number E. That matches the option, the answer figure that you have made, right? This option. I hope you didn't find any problem in answering such questions now. This part is totally clear to each and every student, right? The answer for this part will be, right? You know the reason why. First, we are finding the relation between the first figure and the second figure, and we are supposed to follow the same relation in 3 to 4. Okay, with this, I'll be taking the last question of this chapter, I think, right? In this, I'll be explaining you again the same concept. The first thing is to find the relation between first and second, implement the same in third and fourth, and redraw your figure here itself, right? These are the method, they are the procedure that you have to follow. Let's just follow these things. The relation between first and second is, a square is there, a square is there. It means a circle is there, so a circle will be there as well, right? A circle will be there. Initially it is plus, it become cross. It is also plus, it become cross. Here the dot is in second quadrant, will appear at the top. Here the dot is in second quadrant, will appear at the top again. So which figure matches? Option number E, right? So I think there is no problem in solving these questions now. So answer will be E. I hope this part is also clear, right? Now, here you can see, total of how many questions? 45 practice questions are there. So students, anyone facing any problem, first go through all 10 questions of this chapter. Also, you can watch the video of analogy itself. We have 2 parts. Classification itself, we have a single video for that. Our video, right? So after reading all 3 chapters, anybody is facing any problem, still go and practice these 45 questions. They are present on the website itself, right? Go and watch these videos. Go and practice these questions. And then appear in any exam. You will feel confident. You are able to answer them perfect, accurate manner. The accuracy will improve if you follow the same procedure that I have told you, right? So students, I hope till now I have explained everything in this chapter. Each type of question is covered as well. So anyone is facing any problem can do practice of multiple questions so that you will have good hand-on practice with these and you feel confident while solving questions, right? The basic thing that you need to know and need to remember while doing these chapters is to open your mind to understand the relation, right? To understand the relation, because as soon as you are able to find the relation, the question become easier for you, right? As soon as the question become easier, you are able to solve it properly. I hope this part is enough for my end. I have explained you enough in this chapter. Enough questions are discussed to make you understand this chapter, the concept behind this. Okay. So with this, my students, I would like to end this chapter here itself. I hope you learned it, you enjoyed it as well. I have explained you all 10 to 11 questions very thoroughly. Every answer is marked, every answer is explained in this video. So anybody is facing any doubt, you can go through the video again. You always have this option as well. For the practice, you can go to the website. And why I'm repeating all these things again and again, because the practice is the only thing that makes you comfortable with these topics. The more you practice, the more you become comfortable, the more the confidence you gain. Okay. So with this, I would like to end this chapter. Thank you, students. Thank you for watching. You must go and practice these questions. Bye-bye, students.